Hey everyone, it is Liz, and I am back to do another political reading. Somewhat, I guess it would be political. I am taking a look at what will happen or what could be happening to Fox News in the future. Starting this year in 2021. I was curious about, there's just every time I think about what's gone on in these last, literally, since Fox News has started, there's just been so much going on. And they've been spewing so many, they've just been so mendacious. The hateful rhetoric, the propaganda of just BS. And, now there's a lawsuit that I'm familiar with that I think everybody is with Dominion the voting system, which they're suing everybody, right? And Fox News is there. You've got, a few of their so-called journalists, or I would say so-called, I don't know, Trumpian political talking heads who have their news shows and Fox and Friends and all of it. And at the helm is Rupert Murdoch and his son. His other son walked away from Fox News because he knew that Fox News had turned into this very, I don't even know what to call it. It's just this propaganda machine of racist BS and, light, fluffy stories, about nothing when there's serious stuff going on, and then pointing fingers and blaming everybody but, God, who's really responsible. So, I could go on and bitch and moan about my animosity toward Fox News, but my curiosity was always why are they number one, and now they're not right now. MSNBC has been ahead of Fox News with all their lawsuits going on. You don't see any of these types of Dominion isn't suing CNN or MSNBC or PBS or even C-SPAN for that matter. So anyway, wanted to take a look at the whole Fox News and what is going to happen to them. What's the possible consequences of their actions. So I am again using my Sibylla Oracle deck. Here you go, in case you want to get it. They have this on Amazon. And so what I started out with was a 7-card spread. And of course, I clarified each card. And then as I normally do, I looked at the bottom of the deck and I saw, wait a minute, this is jiving with what I was looking at. So I just put out a few more cards. It pretty much clarified everything that I was feeling and seeing anyway. So looking at the recent past, okay, where Fox News has been, the first card was the dark-haired man, and next to it is the card of faithfulness and affection, which makes sense because you've got in their past, you had people, a dark-haired man, or not necessarily a dark-haired man, but the dark-haired man represents someone who has, in their mind, ethics and morals, and he is seen as someone who is helpful and faithful and someone who is reliable, dependable, and someone who, can, exude that vibration of, honesty. We can be faithful to this person. That's the dark-haired man there, okay? But clarifying the dark-haired man was the card of, it was faithfulness, affection. So, yes, it's interesting because it is, very someone, it's people supporting the Fox News. It's the loyalty vibration, right? Underneath, good times, good outcomes. It's on the other side of the coin of this upright card of faithfulness and affection is this reckless behavior when spending money. It has, because it's the two of clubs. Okay, if you look up the corner here, because as I am slowly learning, how to read playing cards, I'm learning that the two of clubs here literally is about stressing over finances, financial liabilities, which in my mind, made me think, well, maybe they saw this coming. Maybe this dark-haired man, the man in charge, maybe he thought at some point this could get dangerous, with all the loyalty and all the worshiping of Trump, and the just the really, um, their behavior. And so what I did was from the bottom of the deck, as I did explain earlier, they have this vibration of um, it's the card of tenderness. So tenderness, if you take a look at the card here, tenderness, is about good times. It is a very mothering energy. It's someone who is very loving and nurturing, very understanding, someone who can be like an assistant. This is someone who is, um, in my mind, because it's the Queen of Hearts. It's can be self-pity depending on, who we're talking about here. And so when I look at this vibration, I feel like in the recent past for Fox News, they have had some good times, obviously, and they've had some peace, and they've had people around them who have expressed how they love Fox News and everything they do. They've had that, but they've also had, I feel like, this false impression that everything was just hunky dory, because of they lack them that moral compass that you see with I think even just your regular local news station or C-SPAN, okay, which is, I believe, in my mind, C-SPAN is very, it's nonpartisan. Anyway, moving into where Fox News is like right now, what their current state of mind is, and I think of not just Fox News, I'm thinking Rupert Murdoch, the powers that be at Fox News, all the big head honchos there, and all the popular, from Laura Ingraham to, think about it, Lou Dobbs was fired, wasn't he? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe his show was canceled. Moving into where they are right now, oops, wrong card. Where they are right now, what's interesting was the card of displeasure. And so it's contrariety, which is not a very good vibration. So currently, looking at this card, here you go, displeasure. If you can see it, displeasure. He looks like, what's that guy's name? Roger. Oh my God, I'm having a complete brain freeze. Not Roger Ailes, he's dead, although it kind of looks like Roger Ailes, but who's that other one who was the Trump guy who looks like the Monopoly man, like this guy here? You know what I'm talking about. And why I'm having a brain cramp, I do not know. I just read an article about him this morning with the whole Matt Gaetz thing, and he looks like a Batman character, like a bad guy. Roger Stone, there you go, Roger Stone. Looks like a Roger Stone. Think about it, doesn't it? Think about it. I don't know if he has any investment in Fox News. I have no idea. But this is a very negative, corrupt vibration. It's a very, how do I put this? With displeasure, it's opposition. It's trying to have a stronger opposition. It's a very negative vibration, especially with what's going on with Fox News right now, because they are dealing with some, serious lawsuits. And I feel like they're overspending. I feel like they've been spending a lot of money because they lost a lot of advertisers, but now that their numbers are going down, they could be worried, and that could be what's going on here with these people that I'm looking at with the card of displeasure, is that people are not happy, with what's happening here. And the clarification card was that of the gamblers, which is really a warning that this is not a good time for them to be taking any risks, and I think that recently I read God help me, Rupert Murdoch was making some big changes, right? And there's a lot of, with think about it, gambling, there's uncertainty there, right? It's a risk that you're taking. So there's uncertainties happening right now with Fox News, with the gambler's card. Okay, a lot of uncertainties. And then I pulled, to clarify from the bottom of the deck, I found it to be interesting, was the angry. Not the angry woman, but anger. I guess she could be like the angry woman in the other deck. Other Sibylla. This is envy, cheating. I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, this is subterfuge vibration. It's chaos. Anger is what you think anger is, right? So their current state of mind is you've got the anger card with the card of contrariety or displeasure, along with the card of the gamblers. So honestly, there's some serious cheating going on. There's spite, there's envy, there's like really serious, I would say, fiery debates and very immature, ill intent people. There's inappropriate behavior going on there. And again, it's the vibration of chaos. So currently Fox News is in a lot of chaos. It's very messy. People are pretending that everything's copacetic when indeed we know it's not. Okay. Moving into the immediate future, okay, of Fox News, we have the card of the Visit, which makes complete sense when you think about it. Most likely they're talking to what? Attorneys, right? And finding out like, well, what are we going to do? Because they're being inundated, with all sorts of lawsuits. And I said this before about Fox News, and I'm not the only psychic who did. I know my friend Denise Siegel, and I know that there's others out there that have said the same thing. I'm not the only one, but I've seen this. Like, I think it doesn't take a psychic to be rational enough to understand that eventually these people are going to pay the price for their spewing of all this BS, all this propaganda BS. So, the card of the Visit is supposed to be like an exchange of ideas. Someone coming in to literally, like, if you look at it, it's like, attorneys talking to their client. And then you've got the card of a lot of money. And this is about, in general, it's costing them a boatload of money. I don't mean to laugh again. Like, it's like expenses, hidden costs coming up. Like, what else is this? I mean, I think that Rupert Murdoch and everyone else invested with Fox News is wondering how much this is going to cost us. Because they've been prosperous, they've been successful, they've made a lot of money. They've all made a ton of money, but I mean, there's something blocking it because of this lawsuit, and not just the one. I'm telling you, there's going to be more coming in. And I said this maybe in 2020 about that there will be people that watch Fox News that end up losing a family member to COVID or something similar to that, where more lawsuits will come in and they'll blame Fox News for that. And then the bottom card that I pulled is to clarify the immediate future of the Visit card, which would be the lawyers, and a lot of money that they're dishing out to these lawyers would be the pensioner, which is the pensioner. I mean, this is, this is a rich man. This is someone who's got a lot of money, but he's really selfish. The pensioner is someone who you really have to be on his good side. I mean, this is a man who can give a lot of love and a lot of affection, but this is someone that's paying the price. This is the man with the money. This would be like someone like Murdoch, Rupert Murdoch. Any of the investors who are very wealthy people. And they are very selfish people, very greedy people. And so, they're paying for all of these legal fees, right? Obviously they have to, these investors and these attorneys. So this is a lot of stress going on right now here at Fox News, folks. And it doesn't get any better. Their current state of mind, it's like where they are heading right now, or it's like this feeling of like whenever I read somebody else on anything and I'm looking at, I tell them, this is your current state of mind. You've got the dark-haired woman, you have the dark-haired man at the beginning. This is a good listener. This is someone with very good intentions. This is someone who is giving practical advice, okay? But it's also a very powerful card of stress-related illnesses, so don't be surprised if we hear about Rupert Murdoch or anyone involved in the whole Fox News family, shall we say, getting sick, or taking time out. But, the dark haired woman is seen as someone that we can rely on for legal battles. That's kind of where they're at, is looking to work with someone that can help us legally. It won't be Sidney Powell. Oh my God. Another one, right? And clarifying, I'm sorry. The other the other card, I just blows my mind. I feel like sometimes I watch the news, and when I hear and I see what's happening, I think, is this real, or did I smoke too much weed? I mean, seriously, it's bizarre. Um, but you got the letter. Now, the letter is obviously it's about something receiving a message, but it has deeper connotations to it. It's about overreacting. It's a drive. It's almost like someone who's feeling very driven with this letter, like they're determined, like he's sending a message out, right? For a reason. He's like calling for help, but sending a message, but I feel like it's important. This has a ruthless, because it's the diamond suit, it's the actually would be considered, I guess, the ace of diamonds. But in this scenario, it has a ruthless, um, overconfident vibration to it. So what I see with the dark-haired woman and the letter here would be, they're probably dealing with someone like a Sidney Powell. I know that she's got at least one or two lawsuits around her. And to me, with the card clarifying the dark-haired woman in the letter, I pulled at the bottom of the deck the card of the country house. Here's the country house, so you can see. Country house gives you an idea. Oh my goodness. So the country house is indeed a card of, taking time off. It's just too much happening. Usually we go away to, if you have a country house, you think of, going away to a place where you can stay and have some quiet time. If you have, the pictures are, you know, getting away to a place doesn't have to be your own country house or your own. It could be getting away to just de-stress, to decompress. And so to me, as I look at all of this, I'm taking it in, and I do see them dealing with at least one female attorney, if not more. But, there seems to be someone very driven. It could be a man and a woman working together. But there also seems to be with the Foxes, the powers that be at Fox, and everyone involved here needing to get away because they're feeling like there's just so much happening. So I hope that makes some sense. Uh, Moving into um, the environment, how the environment is going to affect Fox News and the powers that be, and vice versa. So, the first card I pulled is the card of the wedding, but it is reversed. The wedding reverse is deception. It's a breakup. It's think about it, legal documents, right? When you get married, what do you have to do? You have to get a marriage license, and everything else that goes along with it. And there's lots of documents that have been information, coming out. So in the future, I'm predicting with this reading that Fox News is coming into a horrible, deceptive time where people are throwing each other under the bus. I mean, the card is infidelity. I mean, cheating. So much cheating. So much, like, friendships breaking up, And I'm thinking about in the beginning of the reading with all the gossip and all the talking, and I'm thinking to myself, here we go. There's going to be a serious war going on at Fox News sometime in the 2021, maybe. It could come sooner, it could come later. But I mean, this is literally, I just wanted to know what was happening with Fox News. My feeling was there's just some stuff happening behind the scenes, and I'm right, according to what I'm seeing here. And psychically, I honestly believe that in the future, there are people throwing each other under the bus left and freaking right. Because as I look at the clarification card, sorry, Lord, dear Lord, we've got the card of waiting reversed. And when she's reversed, it's literally gossip, arguments, problems. It is a very, Messy, messy, messy card. There we go. Waiting. Except, what happens when you're waiting? And it's reversed. What happens when you're waiting? Here we are. People are being deceptive. Contracts are being broken. Contracts are being changed. And there seems to be a lot of people like, well, like, are you losing money? How much money are you making? Are they giving you, like, people leaving? There's all this back talk. Well, I heard he got this and I heard she got that. And there's people throwing each other under the bus. And then the clarification card, which is crazy that, the last card underneath was the flatterer upright. And I mean, this is usually when you're complimenting someone that you really can't stand. Think about it. It's like, oh yeah, gee, Donald Trump, you have fabulous hair. And then when he walks away, you're thinking, oh, you suck. That's, you know, the easy version of what this is. I mean, you've got what's going on at Fox News is deception, gossip, a lot of infighting, contracts being broken, lawsuits that are excessively becoming more of a problem. You have more problems with gossiping and arguments and breaking friendships up, and a lot of just BSing going on. There's doubt. This is literally this card of the flatterer. What do you think about? When you see it, I'm thinking flatterer, like they're insincere. That's the vibration of an insincere person. They're just trying to get something from you. In my mind's eye, there's an ulterior motive here. So everyone seems to have what? An ulterior motive, And so the advice from Spirit was, in fact, in this reading, the card of the pleasant. It's pleasant pastimes. It's remembering that we used to all get along. We used to be a family, right? We all had good intentions, and Spirit is advising, that they need to really communicate appropriately, and, get together and figure out what they're going to do. That's the advice, is to, instead of creating this mess, because look at the child on her back there. I mean, that's what this has turned into. Fox News has turned into like a nursery of like really, really, really horribly like psychopathic children that just don't get along at all, and I don't mean to laugh, but I think the advice from Spirit is clear that they really need to get their act together, because there's a lot of division. This is a very divisive card. It's not a good vibration. It's not a good look on them. And it's starting to kind of ooze out into, we'll start seeing it. If you watch, like, I know you guys don't, I will tolerate like a few minutes of it, depending, on my stomach that day. Clarifying it is that of fright. I mean, what the heck, guys? Spirit is literally saying to them that there's going to be, it's almost like whether they like it or not, the poo's going to hit the fan. Okay, there's going to be a serious collapse of their previous ideas. So however, they were running the show before that, I think that they're going through this metamorphosis now where they're like drastically trying to change everything, to fit to this more right-winged viewpoint, but it's going to hit negatively. It's going to have a very negative effect on them, in my opinion, because it's the end to fright. Literally, it's like death. It's an end to a way of it's an end to a way of living your life, before, whatever they were accustomed to before. The fright card is like coming out and saying dejected, and it's also illness. Remember, I saw illnesses before, and when I look at this card, like, I know it's upheaval, and it's a cluster mess. It's not good, because the bottom card, clarification card, I pulled was a widow. And when she is reversed, she's the message here is crisis. It's not good. Coming to an end. It's in a mental, emotional breakdown when she shows up reversed. Okay? And so the advice from Spirit is, whether they like it or not, Murdoch and the powers that be at Fox News, at some point, whether it's this year or next, They have a boatload of lawsuits. There's a lot of contentious behavior going on here, a lot of infighting, a lot of gossip. The outcome was really not good for them at all. They had the card of, it would be the card of the trap. This is a terrible card for an outcome for anybody. I wouldn't wish this on anybody, but this is obviously, in my mind, this is who scams. It's never a happy situation with the trap card. It's just not. There's going to be legal, like more serious issues. I feel like more legal. They're going to be inundated. They're going to be trapped, literally trapped. I just feel like they're going to be put in a situation where they make the news, like Fox News makes the news, because of a third party scam, But there's a lot of doubt, I must say, and there's no stability anymore. There's no loyalty that I'm seeing. The timing for this, honestly, this feels like by the winter. Okay, so like December, November, December, January, that this may all come to a head. Maybe it's before. Again, I have a hard time, predicting exact times because energy is so fluid and it really depends on the circumstances. But we do have clarifying the card of the trap. We've got the trip to the country, but it's reversed, which is again discomfort. It's this unwillingness to it's an unwillingness to want to lose. It's kind of who I'm just looking at it. When it's upside down, you get like a different picture to it. I mean, it's the loss of something valuable. So I mean, this is the trip to the country reversed. And the other one was country home. Okay, this is trip to the country. When it's upright, it's unforeseen situations. It's plans going awry. When it's reversed, it's there was a trap that puts them in a very very uncomfortable situation, and they are being. It's almost like, how do I put this? Karmic justice. But there seems to be like the feeling is with the trip to the country or getting away. Think about it. Extreme decision, something very extreme with the trap. Because of the trap, something extreme happens and there's a disconnect and there's just this unwilling, it's like some people are unwilling to give this up. And there is, again, with the trip to the country, a loss of some kind. So, sometime between now and the end of 2021, if not the beginning of 2022, we've got the chattering card, which was the bottom card outcome for this row here. Now, chattering, gossip, it's a very toxic environment by the end of this year. It already is a toxic environment. In my mind, I'm surprised it's going to take longer for this to just blow up, but they've got so many lawsuits that, holy cow. A lot of people are talking like out of their, it's just not making any sense. You still have, people are keeping secrets from one another when the chattering card comes up. And someone is spreading rumors and they want us to believe that everything is fine. But think about it. What does gossip do? It just creates more problems. So the outcome for this reading regarding, Fox News is that things are looking pretty bad. No one's getting along. People are trying to play it safe. They have attorneys. They have a few attorneys that are very expensive. They're spending a lot of money, boatloads of money. And they are trying to meet with people to see if there's anything they can do to somehow bring back what they had by changing things up a bit. I believe that they're bringing in like a professional or more than one person to kind of advise them, especially legally, okay? And that there's a ruthless vibration around them. And honestly, there are going to be contracts that are broken, a lot of breakups, and at the end of the day, all these arguments and fighting and BS going on, there's going to be an ending to, there's going to be karmic justice, I believe, because of that trap card as an outcome. That's never, again, it's never good when the trap card is an outcome. It's never a good situation. That means it doesn't end well for anybody here. There will be necessary changes made, and there's going to be a lot of cover up that people will find out about. Whether whoever decides to run this, like what's really going on in the news here. But at the end of the day, unfortunately for Fox News, things go from bad to worse. I don't believe that they can sustain what they have been trying to hold on to, and that there's a lot of money that they're going to lose at the end of the day. I don't know if Murdoch wants to keep this going the way it is. So I'm going to end it there. I hope this made sense. I hope this reading was insightful and interesting. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please do. I'm trying to grow the channel. Once I get to 1,800 subscribers, I will randomly choose 2 subscribers to receive a 15-minute reading with me by phone. And I will post all my information below. So if you want to book a reading, I've got all sorts of availability on the next few days. And I've got some great specials that I'm running, so you can save a lot of money with your readings. So please share my channel with your friends so that I can get my numbers back up. And stay safe, everybody. Get vaccinated. I get my second vaccination April 12th. And keep wearing your masks. Blessings to all. Happy Easter to those that celebrate Easter. And have a great weekend. Have a great everything. Okay? Bye, guys.